This is a mellow game.
Shalom to elect Israel, to the hopeful elect Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, foreign Israelites, and elect the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. Want to give all praise to Barak, Yahawashi. Barak, Yahawashi. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Name of the Heavenly Father, everybody intimately calls God his true name in the ancient Hebrew, which is in the Rawchaa and Qadash. His true name is Yahawah. Bahasham means in the name of. Yahawashi is the Holy One of Israel, everybody intimately calls Jesus Christ, so-called Negro from the tribe of Judah, who was slain at the foundation of the earth for the salvation of the elect of Israel. Then you got 2/3 of the wicked Israelites here in America, Babylon the Great, and the other wicked Israelites scattered across the four corners of the earth that will come back to the loins of the elect after the destruction. The Qadash is the Holy Spirit that's been bestowed upon the men. The Heavenly Father gave his only begotten Son out of the world to complete this work. So we all want to give double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone that us all to this truth. Been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, so forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness of wrath to also part of the elect to the hopeful elect. Lord, when we part of that number, Lord, when it's be able to find those who fear the name of the Lord, striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah 3:5, it is not slack. 2 Peter 3:9 is unto a ring. 2 Chapter 5, verse 42. You know, we're going into the new moon tonight, so Shabbat Shalom. All you sincere believers out there, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash, Atham. And Shalom Ba'an Yasharala. Shalom. Yahawashim al-Shabashim Qadash Barakatah. Shalom, brother. So we're gonna go into a various end time topic lesson. And the title is All Doors Open Only Once You Fear the Lord. This type of fear worldly men cannot process. You know, if you're a worldly man, you cannot comprehend what it means to fear Yahawah, Bahasham, and Yahawashi. And there will come a day you will, and it'll be through death by pain. And some of them, the mightiest of them, will they will witness the power of Yahawah, Bahasham, and Yahawashi before that time. And we're going to go into that too as well. So, you know, my rib, she sent me a video that Dabu 7 did that I was talking about. And there's a courthouse in Texas where they're talking about, basically they got on a pamphlet what to do during a zombie apocalypse. So we're going to go into that. That'll be kind of at the end of the lesson. But, you know, the elders and apostles, they spoke of a terrible time called Jacob's Trouble. And that's going to consist of many things that we've seen in these movies and things that we've never even seen before in our life. And that's why we try to tell you, man, this is not something that a mortal man can comprehend. And the men that you're talking to when you're listening to the elders and apostles, brothers, we are not mortal men. We're not just mortal men. You know, we have a higher conscience when it comes to what is about to happen on this earth. You know, a mortal man can't comprehend this and keep this in their spirit. You know, this is only meant for Yasharallah, the sons of the living power. You know, Yah means he, Shar means prince, and Allah means God, power. He, prince, power. Sons of the Most High. They're the only ones who are going to be able to comprehend this and utilize this and make it information and make it plain upon tables for those who are without wisdom. But wisdom starts with the fear of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. You don't have that, you're going to realize in the end of the day, you didn't know shit. So this is Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 14. Lord willing, is edifying to the flock. We'll start right here. This is GMS Bahamaka Allah, porting out of GMS Oklahoma branch. So Zephaniah 1:14, the day for the great day of the Lord is near. It is near. That's why we're showing videos of nuclear missiles blowing everything up. Okay, that is correlates with the day of the Lord, nuclear destruction. And hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord. The mighty men shall cry there bitterly. So you even got some of these mortal men who are some of the most powerful and strong men of the earth. They're going to be in pandemonium. They're going to be in turmoil because they did not have the wisdom and knowledge of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. This is Proverbs chapter 19, verse 10. And it reads, Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10. Salakia. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10. So if you don't have no fear of the Lord, you don't even know what knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So anything that you have in the world, anything that you know in the world is not knowledge to the Most High. That's, you know, it's basically like low level, base men, base level. The only way you're going to get any true wisdom is through this knowledge. And the knowledge of the holy is understanding, right? You have wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Those are three stages of what it means to basically be born again. Wisdom is learning the scriptures. Knowledge is learning a lot of scriptures. Understanding is knowing how to apply those in the earth and what you do in your daily life. There's three levels to this thing, man. You know, basic levels. First thing, you need to know what everything's talking about, but you can't do that with your mortal mind. You have to be taught by the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And usually we do it by what? Showing you the fear of the Lord, what he can do to you, how serious he is, what he can do to your children, you don't serve him. That's why we do it like that, to show you that you really want to protect the people that you claim you love. You better start here, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to protect them in that day. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 11. Because the Lord, he's the kind of man where if you think that you think that you're like, okay, well, I don't care getting blown up by a missile. He could do something way worse to you. He could have somebody that you love the most tortured in front of you, and you still die in vain. You got to really have fear of the Lord, man, and pray that he has mercy on you. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 11. Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men. That's how we persuade you, and the Lord does that. We when you talking to a new believer, you can't just talk to him like he ain't shit. You got to persuade him. You got to kind of, be humbler, because he doesn't know. That's why I said, with those without knowledge, walk to them that are without, because he might not know how to conduct himself when he's talking to some, to men that are actually gods on the earth. There are gods walking on the earth, and that's the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. If you don't believe that, then don't. But those are the prophets, man. The Lord sent these men in a godly manner to give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We can't get that anywhere else on the earth, man. We can't get that anywhere else on the earth, man. It comes from Yahawashi straight to them, man. You ain't getting it nowhere else. You can learn worldly things, but it's not going to save you in the day of destruction. It's not going to save you. So I want to go to that in the blue letter. That's 2 Corinthians 5, verse 11. It says, right, knowing there through the terror of the Lord, we persuade men. What does it mean to persuade? We're going to look that up in the Greek, because that's what we do over here. We look up words, to understand how they were spoken in that day. That's why a lot of people think that the Bible's a joke, because it's been watered down to this English version for these mortal men to understand, including ourselves. We were mortal men at a time. We were not reactivated into this truth, and we're still learning today, how to conduct ourselves in front of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi.
Strong's G 3982. Pytho.
Right? That's how you really say that word, persuade. So through the Pytho, we persuade men. Not really. No, through fear, we Pytho, basically persuade. So through fear, that's what we're saying. So to persuade, i.e., to induce one by words to believe, to make friends of, to win one's favor, gain one's goodwill, or to seek to win one, strive to please one. Just like if you talking to a female, you ain't gonna go be like, yeah, bitch, you ain't shit. Serve me. You gonna talk to her like that. You gonna go to her and you gonna butter her up a little bit, maybe give her some flowers, and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm take you out on a date or something. And of course that's a carnal way to think of it. But when we talk to believers, you want to comfort them, man. You want new believers, you want to comfort them and tell them, things that they need to hear right off the bat. But we're not saying sugarcoat, but we know the scriptures is sweet and bitter, so you blend it. You don't put too many vegetables in there, too many bitter herbs in there. You put a little bit of fruit in there too. Know that we are coming into a kingdom. We are coming into a better transition from this hell that we in. So they can win favor. You can win favor of them and gain, more believers in this ministry, man. That's what our job is to do, to bring fruit, meat for repentance. People who really want us to be sincere about Yahawashi, to tranquilize, right? To persuade unto, to move or induce one to persuasion to do something. What are we trying to get Jake to do? Finish your oath, Jake. Complete your oath with Yahawashi. This ain't got nothing to do with us. We're going to look at this word tranquilize. Go look it over here on my other screen. Right? Right? To have a calming or sedative effect on. See? It says a tranquilizing drug, right? Right? This truth is almost like a drug, man. Once you realize this is it, man, all Jake want to do is talk about the scriptures. A sincere Jake, you know, and we supposed to know how to use this sword to get them to be, you know, be like, damn, I can actually do this. I can learn about the Lord. But you got to start at Pacific's points. You don't want to just, you know, just be like, Jake, you just ain't shit. That ain't right. He said we're the sons of the living power. We just finding out after 2,000 years of being out here with nobody telling us who we are. You know, to believe, to listen, to obey, yield to, comply with, right? To trust. And you know you can trust GMS, man. Ain't nobody else teaching nothing about what's going on in the war. Ain't nobody else teaching about the destruction coming but GMS, man. You got a couple other camps that kind of talk about it, but they ain't really talking about it, man. They're not telling you about the MOTB. Only GMS is doing that. Only GMS is telling you that the mark of the beast is talking about NATO and the EU, and the RFDI chip is the mark. Okay? There ain't nobody else telling you exactly what it is. Ain't nobody else doing that. We're going to go to Philippians 2, verse 12. Oh, it was loading up to it. This is Philippians chapter 2, verse 12, and it reads, wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, right? And the only way you're going to have presence of the Most High is the elders and apostles, man. Even though he's not here, he sent leaders. We talked about that yesterday, you know. But now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, Jake. It's up to you to make sure that you will stand in good standing with Yahawah, Yahawashi, man. It's up to you. You got to show the Lord yourself, because you could fool anybody and make it seem like you love the Lord, but the Lord knows if you really give a shit. That's what we're trying to tell Jake. You know, it's more than just, you know, being getting right around us. You got to do that stuff on your own time too. You know, and it's gonna be tough. It ain't gonna be something easy. You know, and you're gonna fall short. But that's why we've been talking about how to understand failure, what it's supposed to do for you. You know, it's supposed to be basically a way to get better. You know, because we have Yahawashi. He said that he's going to wipe our sins, man. And we're gonna go into Sirach 31 and 32, probably, you know, tomorrow, Lord willing, you know, if the Spirit allows. So Baruch chapter 4, verse 28. For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, right? So being returned, seek him 10 times more. That's why GMS, you know, you can trust GMS. We doing videos every day, man, to show you that we are seeking the Lord as much as we can, man. So we're gonna go into some precepts dealing with the news. This says Spain permanently withdraws ambassador to Israel, right? So that's a big deal because Spain is a part of the beast system, right? The 7 heads and the 10 horns. We talk about it all the time. Going into NATO and the EU. Spain is a very big member, one of the more original members of not the BRICS, but you know, the beast system, man. And they are removing their ambassadors from Israel permanently. They said, no, we're not going over there no more. Where do you think they're sending their ambassadors now? Obadiah chapter 1, verse 1, the vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, right? That's why we're going in and talking about this stuff. The Lord is basically the men, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Those men were sent by the Lord to be a mediator to the elect, to show them what is the Lord saying. And an ambassador is sent among the heathen, right? We're telling you that where the ambassadors of the heathen are going. Where are the ones in Spain going to right now? You know what they're doing? They're going to their officials and saying, "Rise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle." And when they're talking about her, it's talking about America, Babylon the Great. But who controls America? Them. Them small hats, the ones in there in the land that say they Israel, the Rawchas, the big banking companies. That's why you got these Edomites out here crying like, "Oh, I'm not taking my children to war. I'm not fighting a war." When they say they talking about them. The small hats, man. That's who they talking about. This is Habakkuk, chapter 2. They finna start plotting on these Western Edomites, man. We're gonna get to the point. Actually, no. I don't want to go here. We're going to go back to Obadiah, and we're going to go to verse 7. Because I went into this the other day. We're just going to go to 7. We're going to keep it to the point, so we don't try to be too long. So this is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy, right? When you go into Psalms 83, it talks about all the enemies of Israel, starting with Esau, even the so-called white man. So all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border, right? Spain's going to be one of them. Okay, we're going to go into that a little bit more in a second. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. See, that's how Spain was. They were at peace with this whole system. But after they're hearing Trump talking about he gonna take over Greenland, now he talking about taking over Cuba. He just took over Venezuela. He doing too much. They ain't liking that, man. So hey, ain't gonna be no more let bygones be bygones with America, Babylon the Great. So they have deceived thee. They have prevailed against thee. That's how you know America's gonna lose. They that eat thy bread, right? Make money off this place, have laid a wound under thee, right? They setting this place up. And there's none understanding in him, which means what? These Western Edomites ain't gonna even know how they gonna trap them up. They didn't even know that they were setting them up. They ain't gonna know. Even if they hear us speak about, even if one of these high officials and come watch one of our videos, they still not gonna find out. You ain't gonna find out, man. You can't find out the will of the Lord. The Lord has got y'all ass in the trick bag, man, and you're through. You're through. And this is what it's leading up to. Let me get over to it because it's going slow. We're going to go to Revelation. We know this one well. Revelation 17, 16. And it reads, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast." Spain is one of them horns, because horn means power. This is one of these leaders in NATO and the EU. These shall hate the whore. They already ain't sending ambassadors over there to Israel. That means that they don't want to deal with America, because America's dealing with Israel. This is the separation we're seeing from the east and the west. "And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." And when you watch that intro video, when you go really actually watch that, from the elder, and I think that's the elder in the Charlotte camp, ICR, he when he does that video, it explains that, one whole just missile couldn't destroy a whole continent, but it could destroy a city in minutes. So that's why it's going to be a lot of missiles coming from a lot of different places over there, man. From over there. And shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. That's the missiles, man. There ain't no other way you destroying the whole land that quickly, man. There ain't no way. When you read verse 17, we'll go ahead and read it. Right? To show you that power with the beast is diminishing. Okay? Verse 17, for the Most High put it in their hearts, which is talking about their minds, to fulfill his will and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. So Yahawah has them in a mindset of being with the beast, but now he's telling them the time's almost fulfilled. So stop sending your ambassadors over there. Stop telling them what you're doing. That's what's happening. That time is starting to be dwindled down to where it's going to be a division from the east and the west, and there will be missiles fired. This is one of the reasons why they're not going to have any respect for America, Babylon the Great. Military report concludes U.S. killed 175 school children in the missile strike on Iran. What do they got to do with the war? They ain't got nothing to do with the war, man. Them children ain't had nothing to do with the war. But why is Esau Edom like that? Why is Esau like that? Why does he not care about the young or the old? He should just be attacking military bases, right? Nah, he's not going to do that because that's not in his spirit to do that. His spirit, he don't give a damn. It's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49. This is talking about Esau right here. These Edomites, man. These America, Babylon the Great, make a great agains, motherfuckers. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, right? Who's got the eagle as their mascot? Right? America. Who else did it? Rome. Because it's the same damn spirit, man. It's the same people coming back. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, right? This English language, and then over there in Israel, in the land of Israel, they speaking that Yiddish Slavic kind of German Hebrew that ain't real Hebrew. Our ancestors didn't understand that language, man. That's why you had when Abba Bibbins was being taught by them before he realized that you know everything that he realized, he seen like this ain't we don't remember that, And for y'all don't know who Abba Bibbins is, you'll learn as time goes on, as you grow in the truth, But some of y'all need to understand certain things first before y'all understand that. Reincarnation, man, exists in the scriptures. But we ain't gonna go too deep. Verse 50, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. See, they don't care. They'll shoot missiles on a whole school. And Esau does a diligent search on everything. So he knew that missile was going to hit them children. He knew. That wasn't no random target. Okay. And this is going into basically how he's going to be. He's going to take all of our stuff basically until he destroyed us. We ain't got to read into that. The point is, look, man, he don't have no regard for nobody, man. He don't have no regard for anybody, man. That's why the nations aren't going to be feeling some type of way when they shoot missiles and hit everything over here, whether it's got children, women, whatever, man. Because it's going to be a destruction from the Almighty, as it says in Isaiah 13. It's Isaiah chapter 13, verse 18. And it reads, their bows shall also dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, right? Children and stuff, right? Their eyes shall not spare children. Why? Because America, Babylon the Great's doing the same thing, right? And that's how the East are. Apple for an apple, eye for an eye. You do this, so we're going to do that. That's how you know that's what's going to come to. They're not going to spare children either. When Yahawashi returns, neither is he. He ain't going to spare none of y'all out here. It don't matter who you are. You don't believe in Bahasham, you're not going to be spared. You know. So we're gonna go to scientists. Scientists dump 65,000 liters of chemicals into the ocean to stop global warming. Right? Nah, these people are destroying the earth. Esau, even the so-called white man, is destroying the earth, man. Dump chemicals in the ocean. Like, no, how about you just stop eating all the doggone shrimp out of the ocean that are the bottom feeders, and they're supposed to eat all the stuff out of the ocean at the bottom of the ocean to keep the ocean clean. How about you do that? They trying to treat the ocean like it's a damn swimming pool. So are we telling you, man, these Edomites got to go. They don't know how to do nothing right. Revelation chapter 11, verse 15. And it reads that, and the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in the heavens saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord. Right? This is when he's gonna come down here and take all these people out. You know. And of this Hamashiach, right? Talking about Yahawashi. And of his Hamashiach, talking about Yahawashi. That's how you say Christ in the ancient Hebrew, which means the anointed. And he shall reign forever and ever. That's how we know it's talking about Yahawashi. Then it says, verse 16, and the 4 and 20 elders which sat before the Most High in their seats fell upon their faces and worshiped the Most High. And you got some Israelites talking about double honors to the 4 elders, and nah, you don't gotta go that deep, man. It ain't talking about exactly that many elders. There's way more elders than that. Verse 17 saying, we give thee thanks, O Lord, power almighty, right? Talking about Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, which art and was and are to come, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and has reigned. And that's going to be through violence. That's not going to be like what these people are doing on the earth. The Lord's not coming over there on no bull biggity. He's going to come jacking shit up. And we're knowing the time is coming, because why? Verse 18, and the nations were angry, right? Why they're angry? Because Esau is doing all this stuff, dumping all this chemtrails in the air, chemicals in the water, shooting missiles and blowing up schools, doing all types of shit. Pedophile rings, all this stuff, man. The nations are angry with this place, and thy wrath has come. They found some basements in New York from them small hats, some 1948ers, them rats. They found a whole bunch of tunnels with a whole bunch of dirty ass beds in there and shit from them transporting them children through there, man. Nations is angry at Israel, at the land of Israel, and these Edomites over there, the Amalekites, the first descendants of Esau, and these ones over here, man, they angry at this place. And thy wrath is come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, right? That thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, that time of the dead, that they should be judged. They're talking about them other nations, also going into 2/3 of our people in America, Babylon the Great, and the other wicked Israelites scattered across the 4 corners of the earth, because they are spiritually dead. They're in the congregation of the dead. They're going to be guilty by association for not coming into this truth. And it's righteous judgment. The Lord's making sure everybody pay for whatever they deserve. And to the saints and them that fear thy name, right? The ones that know the fear, that's the only ones that's going to be considered saints. It's the ones that fear the name, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, small and great. So that's going into the 144,000 elect men and the honorable multitude of men, women, and children who follow the voice of the Lord, which is through his prophets. And shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. And we seeing they destroying the earth, man. I know I ain't got $65,000 of bull biggity in my closet where I can go dump it in the ocean. So it ain't no Jakes out here with that. It's these Edomites. Now we're going to watch this. We're going to go to this. This is going to add to what we're going to know as martial law. Okay? This is gonna help further. So this is from Sidner Reports. It's not for monetary gain. None of this video is for educational purposes only. The whole video. So it says U.S. reports could shut down amid crisis. So we'll listen to a little bit what he says. A lot of people watch him. This one only a day ago, he got 50,000 views. People watch this guy. So he must know what he's talking about. He must be on point with whatever he's going to. So let's get into it. I'll take my screen off so everybody who want to see it and go find it and watch the whole video yourself, you can go get into it. So let's go.
According to the White House, the United States may be forced to shut down airports amid this standoff with the Department of Homeland Security. This is a complete catastrophe. Millions of people could be stranded. People could be forced to use different airports. Other workers will be temporarily let go and furloughed. Think about that for a second. We are about to see airports shut down. This is not just going to harm TSA workers. This is going to harm others as well. Pilots, flight attendants, people that work in the restaurants, the janitorial staff, other mechanics, and other workers that work at the airlines. This disaster is turning into something even greater. Look at this. It says, U.S. says it may be forced to shut down some airports over funding standoff. That was just announced today. Listen to this. It says, a senior Trump administration official said on Tuesday that if a government funding standoff continues, it may force the shutdown of some smaller airports in the coming weeks, owing to a shortage of security personnel.
And see, that's what they want, because that's just like with COVID. They use that to shut down a lot of the mom and pop businesses. They're going to use all these little, we ain't got enough money to shut down all the small stuff. So it's harder to get access to go places, to where it's to the point to where there's only a few airports open. And if you don't have the MOTB, you ain't getting in there.
I've been saying this for the past couple weeks as well, is that this little standoff between Republicans and Democrats over the Department of Homeland Security funding, which essentially isn't really about the Department of Homeland Security per se. It's about the ICE agents. That's the big standoff. That's the big question mark, is what are we going to do there? But TSA agents are now in the middle. They are now being pulled apart, many of which cannot afford food, can't afford their home, their car payment, gas, getting back and forth from work, which, right?
Because what happened was a lot of these people, they were making good money. They were making wealth off America, Babylon the Great. They got nice homes, expensive cars, things that are just extra expensive. And now, since things have changed, they ain't got no way to keep that shit running, man. Because if you just had a regular ass apartment and you lived content and you didn't, and you had a decent job and you just lived content, you had somewhere where it's decent, not too huge or nothing, man, you still be straight if something happened like this. It's just Esau Edom has gotten our people to, just overdo shit, man. Like try to just get way too much excess materialistic stuff. We supposed to be between poverty and riches, man. We don't need no big ass mansion and shit, man. You got you some spare money. Hey, use that to help brothers, man. Use that to help the tabernacle. Use that to help people that's in need, that maybe do be dealing with something, and then, have some aside to where if you go in a drought, you got some to have as a resource. So I said money is a defense, and that's why, man, we tell you, man, the Lord has got the spirit on Jake to be like that and not be too carnal, not think too much about getting something super, super nice and, only things that's needed. Okay. But that don't mean you can't have nothing decent, I got me a little, my truck, I got it a little 2017. This ain't just a super nice, but it's nice enough where it ain't going to break down. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to help brothers where they need to move something. We need to bring something, whatever, transport a little bit, whatever. That's why the Lord put the spirit on me to get that. Because Jake, man, these old cars, man, Esau make them where they just break down. So, you gotta be balanced. Don't just get nothing that's just busted, because then shit gonna keep breaking down. You want to have something reliable, just like a brother next to you. You want a reliable brother. You don't want a brother where you got to keep repairing this motherfucker's everything. Like, you want shit, you want to work hard enough where you at least decent. That's between poverty and riches, man. But don't get too much nice shit, Jake, It's going to be hard to let this stuff go.
Right now is surging. But listen to this right here.
Yeah.
Unlike other federal agencies, such as ICE and CBP, TSA employees are working without pay. Many are coping with eviction notices, vehicle repossessions, empty refrigerators, and overdrawn bank accounts.
Yep, because they got all that nice shit, trying to be like Esau, trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to keep up with the Kardashians. So we tell you, Jake, don't be content. Be content. And I tell myself that first and foremost, too. That's why you don't see I ain't got no diamond rings on. I'll be wearing stones. Stones ain't that expensive. Shit. You getting all that super ass, expensive ass shit. Keep this shit modest. That don't mean we can't, have a little bit of stuff, but keep it modest, man. Don't go too crazy with it. It's Revelation 11, verse 15. Oh, wait, nope. I want to go to 2nd Esdras 15. I just went to Revelation 15. 2nd Esdras. This is going to go into this. This is martial law, 15, verse 16. And that's why you want to get good with your brothers. You want to get good with your brothers. And, this is going in a little bit something different. Well, it does go in that, there's people kind of going against the government, but hold on. But this is the main point I want to put out. It's 2nd Esdras 15. Okay, so we can keep going. It's just one scripture over. So this is what's coming to 2nd Esdras 15, 16. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another, and they shall not regard their king nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And that's going to happen more with these people who have trusted in, Esau, even the so-called white man's system, this Western system, and now they working without pay. They getting evicted. They, and a lot of them ain't really went without like that. So what makes you think they're going to be not being hasty in the time of trouble? They ain't gonna be hasty as hell. Some of these people don't accumulate enough money to afford weapons, man. What you think they're gonna do, man? Verse 17, especially when martial law happened, man, it's gonna be wild out here, man. It's gonna be wild, man. And then you got Trump. He done sent all the troops over there to the Middle East. He done all everybody else's border. He in Cuba, he in everywhere, man. There ain't gonna be enough people over here to keep this thing on the wraps. Real quick, plug this in. All right. Yeah. Okay, it's charging now. So verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, man. This is part of it, man. Few places to fly out, man. They're going to have a lot of checkpoints and stuff as well, moving up as time goes on, man. Where if you ain't got the MOTB, you can't cross into certain places because they're going to be talking about, the zombie outbreak broke out here. We quarantine this whole area, man. It's going to be all types of shit, man. Man, we're going to go into that in just a second. But we're going to show you what Trump said, because we was talking about yesterday how he said he was coming after Cuba, right? But then all of a sudden there was just a blackout over there. Why you think? It's the same thing that happened in Venezuela. He been attacked, man. Esau know he only got a short time, man, to get this system set up for Yahawashi return. He ain't slowing down.
I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba. That'd be good. That's a big honor. Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it.
President Trump making remarks this afternoon regarding Cuba after being asked by a reporter, what will taking over Cuba but look like more like Iran or Venezuela. Now, this comes as the island nation's power grid completely collapsed today, leaving the country without electricity. And about 11 million people on the island have no power, leaving them little to no access to basic services like water, food, and medical care.
Yeah, and the crisis is sparking protests throughout that country. NBC6's Kim Nguyen is live in our newsroom with the latest and with how local leaders are reacting. Kim.
Yeah, that's right. And the massive power outage is the latest crisis to hit the island as conditions keep getting worse. The frustration from people on the island has started to boil over into the streets. This is how things look on the island of Cuba right now. No lights, no power, and millions of people left in the dark. On Monday, the country's entire electrical grid collapsed.
The Cuban government announced that the entire island is going to be in a blackout.
It's the latest crisis to hit the
sedition among men. They've been going through blackouts though, and there's gonna be some. Hey man, ain't gonna be no peace. Jake, you here in America, Babylon the Great. You gotta get ready for stuff like this.
Struggling nation, which hasn't received a drop of oil in about 3 months due to a U.S. blockade.
Damn, that means that your ass better have a regular ass bite.
Gas has led to empty highways. No power has led to women delivering babies in dark hospitals. Frustration sparking protest on the island for the past 2 weeks. In Morón, demonstrators attacked and burned a Cuban Communist Party office.
We're seeing more and more of these demonstrations spring up. The Cuban people.
And that's what Esau and them do, man. They destabilize a country. And then they come in and act like they the saviors. And now Trump's starting to be like, yeah, I'm going to just take it over. I'm going to do whatever. I could free it. I could enslave them. What do you think Esau going to do? Man, this motherfucker is the oppressor, man. He is going to enslave them people, man. And that's why he told, and that's what they do. They'll sabotage a place. Like I said, destabilize it. Go to the leaders and give them a deal that fucking sucks. And if they don't do it, they just take it over because they don't got no resources anyways, because they don't block them. This is what he's doing, man, because he knows that he's out of time. He's going to need as much, control as he can. He's going to need as many people as he can to band together with him. And it's not going to even matter because it said when Yahawashi returned, it said everybody going to stop fighting with each other and they're going to try to destroy Yahawashi. They're going to be like, hey, man. This is something bigger than us, bro. Look at this guy. It's going to be a so-called Negro with eyes of flaming fire to men, man. They're going to be like, yeah, whatever we were talking about, don't worry about that no more. Boy, it's going to be some shit. It's Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Because why the sea too? Because woe means destruction. Why the sea? Because Esau is dumping fucking thousands of gallons of fucking chemicals in there. Like, ain't no fish gonna survive that shit. Ain't no fish gonna survive all them chemicals in there because the water's gonna be moving. It's gonna move all that shit throughout the ocean, man. Oh, man. I'm telling you, man. Taking all the damn livestock out of the ocean, there's destruction on everybody because it's these damn devils. For the devil, which means deceiver, which is Esau, even the so-called white man, has come down unto you, having great wrath. That's why he's like, I'll just take it over. I'll just take a shit on it. I'll do whatever. That's what he's talking about. That's what he's talking about doing. Like, he's just coming down with great wrath because he knoweth he have but a short time to do what? Set up his MOTB system. And Trump is the perfect guy. Old Nero is the perfect guy for the whole operation. Because he's real quick with it. And I'll just go ahead and take it over. So, last but not least, let's talk about the zombies. Let's get into it. It's only a minute and 55 seconds. We got 2 precepts. And then we're out of here.
All right, guys. Why do we have a courthouse in Texas handing out pamphlets on zombie attacks? As you can see here, someone that has walked in to a courthouse in Burleson, Texas, sees these zombie attack preparedness pamphlets for the people to take. This goes over evacuation routes, emergency survival plans, long-term supply checklists. It has all kinds of instructions in here.
Now, there was another guy that was in the comment board, and he mentioned something. The movie Zombieland. It's in Texas. Okay, it's basically the movie. It's like they're in Texas when it happens. So there's a lot of stuff, man. Hey, put the dots together, Jake.
You better be better safe than sorry.
Yeah, it said the proliferation of this idea has led many people to wonder, how do I prepare for a zombie apocalypse, right? Well, we're here to answer that question for you and hopefully share a few tips about preparing for real emergencies too, right? Better safe than sorry. So what do you need to do before zombies or hurricanes or pandemics, for example, actually happen? First of all, you should, right? They try to make it seem like it's a joke. And I just watched this movie, right? I can't remember what it was called, but in this movie, I want to point this out. Okay, there's this movie, before I play the rest of this. There's this movie that the Lord put the spirit on me to watch last night. And basically, all of Las Vegas, okay, basically, gets, all of Las Vegas gets, becomes like under quarantine because the military, they're moving this package and they know what's in the package. And it was this damn zombie, okay? But it was like more smarter than what the zombies are. We see where they're like stupid and all they do is eat and they don't think. Like this one would think and shit, okay? It was smart because you know how they say like the zombies, you can shoot them in the head and they die. Well, this zombie like made a metal plate for his head and shit to where if you shot him, it wouldn't kill him because he had the plate on. He put like a bulletproof helmet on. And it was like, it was riding like zombie horses and shit, and it had zombie lions with it. And like it was like smarter than the other ones. And that's just like humans. You got some humans that are smarter and stronger than other ones. That's how they probably gonna be. So you can't just be thinking like this ain't gonna be just some easy shit. You're gonna have some of them I Am Legend zombies out here. Them motherfuckers gonna be running on your ass. So, hey, man. Hey, Jacob's Trouble is going to be everything that we did not think it was going to be, man. He said, well, at least the ones who are not the hopeful elect. We know this shit could get anything go. Anything goes in Jacob's Trouble. This is going to play time going to be so horrible. Hey, man, America has to get completely destroyed, and then no more war is going to happen after this. Like, that's how fucking bad this is going to be. It's just going to be crazy. But yeah, let me get back to Dabu 7. Hold on. Go ahead.
And they have put this out there in the open. Even has a line saying that when zombies are hungry, they won't stop. And this is being put out in courthouses. This is real deal. Are you guys seeing anything like this out there in your neck of the woods? This reminds me of several different things in the past we covered.
Right.
And you talk about hiding something in plain
sight. So like
sight.
I was saying, like that movie, it was like there was like zombies that were faster and smarter and knew how to talk and everything. And basically what they were doing is they weren't killing the humans. They weren't just eating them. And they were telling the other zombies, like, don't eat him. And they were taking that person and taking them to like, it was the Olympus. Okay. The Olympus building in Las Vegas. They was taking them in there and they was like turning them into super soldiers, like super zombies. Like they were organizing that motherfucker. Like you never know what the Lord could put the spirit on, whatever, man. In Jacob's Trouble, man. You don't want to fuck around. Because if it's in these movies, because the word theo means God. Okay? So when you say theater, who you think's making the movies? Hey, man, the Most High can do anything, man. You think you just facing some zombie that's a dumbass? This motherfucker be smarter than your ass and shit, because Most High put the spirit on that damn thing. I'm trying to tell you, man. You're gonna need spiritual protection in that day. It's gonna be some creatures out here. You're gonna be like, oh nah, man. I need Bahasham, Yahawashi. So we're gonna get into a little bit of history. We're gonna go into Jacob's trouble, and then we out of here. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, right, going into 70 AD, when we were taken over by the Romans, they took our scrolls, they took everything that we had, and we ran into the Masada Mountains, which that's why a lot of people call, us Africans, because we ran into the West Africas, and which mainly were, most of them were the so-called Jamaicans, which are the Benjamites. A lot of us ran into the Masada Mountains. We'll go into some history lesson on that, Lord willing, pretty soon, going into the battle, what happened in the Masada Mountains. I have another one that I did a video a while ago that I seen GMS and the Truth for Orlando. He did a video on basically the besiege of Israel, and they went step by step, went through a whole video of how it played out. And anyways, keep going into it. They went into the Masada Mountains, and it was big battle between that, and then eventually we were taken into slavery. And I don't know who this person is, but I wouldn't say necessarily openness for scriptures, for brothers to post scriptures. That's really all we like on the comment board. You can come in and say shalom if you're new. Best to just listen and really learn what we're saying, because we're definitely not debating with anybody. We're teaching it how we were taught by the elders and apostles, and if it resonates with you, then then you'll get in order, and if not, then we're here for the believers. We're not here to debate with nobody. Not saying that you are, but we're just telling you ahead of time how we get down over here in GMS. So it says, stand in the holy place, whoso readeth him, let him understand. So when it talks about standing in the holy place, that's talking about basically in the land of Israel. That's all it's saying. It's saying when you stand in the holy place, let him read who understands. So this is during 70 AD. This is what the Lord was telling Israel at that time. Verse 16, let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains, right? Which is talking about the Masada Mountains. They said flee into the mountains. So a lot of Jake got out of there. Some of them didn't, because they didn't listen. They didn't believe. They didn't believe in the scriptures. So a lot of them got killed off in there too. Verse 17, let him which is on the housetop come not down to take anything out of his house. Because they thought, a lot of them probably thought, a lot of Israelites probably thought that since they crucified Yahawashi and they got rid of him, that decree and that treaty that they made with the Romans would stand, and it didn't, because Nero burnt down Rome and blamed it on Israel. So by the time Titus came around 68 AD, he started waging war on Israel. And that's why the Lord was writing this stuff to tell him, hey, get ready, because you finna go through something, man. Let him which is on the housetop not come down and take anything out of his house. The Lord said, get out of there. Don't get nothing. Don't grab your drawers, nothing. Leave it all in there. Jake had some drawers back then. We ain't finna be in the world and no drawers. Verse 18, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. Right? Don't go back. Get out of there and go back in there. Verse 19, and woe to them that are with child and to them that give suck in those days. Because it was like you had a child, like that was a terrifying time. And today, in Jacob's trouble, as a woman with child, the Lord's gonna send men to protect you, the elect men, the ones that are sincere, elect women, your children. The Lord is gonna send a man to protect you, in that day. We always say, Lord willing, you might have to die in the faith too. Who knows? But you better not be offended in Bahasham Yahawashi. We'll tell you that. And he'll crown you with life. He'll give you, that immortality and that sense of knowing that you endure to the end. And that could be to your last breath. But now when we go further, we go 20. But we'll say this: a lot of people are going to get saved in the elect, and then they're going to die. Most of us that maybe going to face them guillotines and death in prison are most of the leaders, man. That's all we be telling y'all: have respect for your leaders, because a lot of them are going to go through a lot more than what we got to go through. And I even got to consider myself that, because I've been put in GMS. And even though I'm a young brother, I read about the Maccabees brothers. The youngest man got tortured tortured worse than the older men that were above him. So you got to think that too when you're a young man. Don't think the Lord is going to take it easy on your ass, because we don't know who we are. We could be anybody. He knows that we can take it. So verse 20, but pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. Right? Now this is going into Jacob's trouble, which is coming up. For then shall be great tribulation. And it said in Acts 14:22, through much tribulation shall ye enter the kingdom of the Most High. So these people talking about the rapture and how they're going to get beamed up out of here before the tribulation or whatever. You even have some that are saying that they're going to get beamed up after the tribulation. And in a sense, we don't call that the rapture, because it's the right word. Rapture is not in the Bible. But, it does speak of when you, after, all the things that happen, the last trump, the elect will be risen back from the dead, and they will be beamed up in these chariots, which are the so-called UFOs. It does speak of that. Okay. We're not going to go into it, but it's in Revelation 11. Around 12 and 13. Yep. Revelation 11:12 is where it speaks of that. It's going to be basically at the end, just before America gets destroyed. That's why I said the righteous shall scarcely be saved. You're going to barely get out of here. So for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. So we know this isn't talking about 70 AD. Because we've had times where Israel was destroyed. We've had time where Israel was under siege. Okay, we've met in many captivities where the tabernacle was destroyed, and the palaces were destroyed of Israel. So this is talking about a time like ain't nobody ever went through. Verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, and there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. And that's what he's doing right now. He's shortening the time for the elect's sake. And give me 1 second. It correlates with the Old Testament to show you that it's just like, I said, it's a time that's never been like it, right? So you know it's talking about Jacob's trouble in Matthew 24th chapter and those few precepts that we read at the end. Jeremiah 30 verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. And it's going to be more than one day. We don't know how many days it's going to be. We know a day to the Lord is 1,000 years. Who knows how long it'll be? But we hoping that it's shortened like he said it would. Short as possible. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Who is that? Talking about Jake. You so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. That's who he's talking about saving out of it. Not everybody else. So that concludes the lesson for the day. All doors open only once you fear the Lord. This type of fear worldly men cannot process. So shalom to elect Israel, hopefully to Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. I want to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Double honors to those and apostles of great millstone. Let us all to this truth. Peace and blessing to the elect. Wa Abba Babal, Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.